Hi everyone. Not really done this before. Uh, this is my new Who review, video one for series one of the new series of Doctor Who. Series one, Rose. What a brilliantly done opening to bring Doctor Who to new fans, but also reinventing it for old fans such as myself. Um, a few highlights in this. Overall, I thought the episode was fantastic. The bit where Rose first turns the Doctor down, then he leaves and goes off and has adventures of his own. Hang on, you say? Yes, I'm right. When he walks into her lounge, it's the first time he sees himself in the mirror. So he's just regenerated prior to meeting Rose. And yet, when she's talking to that guy in his shed with all the images of the Doctor, JFK, Krakatoa, it's Christopher Eccleston's Doctor. So obviously, he did that before coming back and saying, by the way, that I mentioned it also travels in time. A brilliant episode to bring Doctor Who back into our lives and in our hearts. Probably give that episode an 8 out of 10. Episode 2, The End of the World. I love this story. Russell showed us the heights and the madness that the show can reach with just his second episode in. The friendship between the Doctor and Jabe, meeting the face of Bo, i.e. Captain Jack. Stop it, don't get ahead of yourself. How Rose takes everything in and challenges Cassandra about how humans should evolve. Almost every aspect of the story is faultless. Watching it even now, I still have the same feeling, so I have to give this episode a 9 out of 10. The Unquiet Dead. We love it when the Doctor meets real historical figures, or at least I do, especially the great ones like Charles Dickens. The crafting of the story is pretty much seamless, with a masterful performance from Simon Callow. He was born to play that role. Probably give that 7 out of 10. Aliens of London / World War III. The first two-parter of New Who is bold, lavish, epic, masterly crafted. Not a huge fan of the Slovene. Probably best suited to something like when they were in the Sarah Jane Adventures. There's one minor / major mistake in this. Now, if Rose met the Ninth Doctor, say on January the 2nd, 2005, as seen in The End of Time, then they go to Platform 1 and meet the Gelf, and he brings her home, but it's 12 months later. That would be January the 2nd, 2006. But that would mean that Christmas is December 2006. Then Series 2 present timeline is 2007. Series 3 with Martha is 2008. Series 4 with Donna 2009. Specials 2010. Series 5 2011, etc. So perhaps the first 3 stories should have been set in 2004. But that aside, I thought it was a cracker story. Probably give it a 7 out of 10. Dalek. Well, the unveiling of the Daleks in New Who did truly, for me, live up to expectations. The look, the colour, the haunting resonance to Nicholas Briggs's voice bring the Daleks / Daleks back to their glory. First time we really see the Ninth Doctor's darkness and burden from the Time War. Shouting at the Dalek to kill itself. However, again, this story has one minor fault. Much drama was built on the scene where the Dalek elevated up the stairs to chase Rose, Adam, and the soldier, hinting at the fact that this was the first time the Daleks conquer stairs. It's actually mentioned, I think, by the writer Robert Sherman in Doctor Who Confidential. But in actual fact, the first time we see the Daleks conquer stairs is in the 1988 story Remembrance of the Daleks with Sylvester McCoy's Doctor. However, that's a nitpick. I give that story 8 out of 10. The Long Game. This story is very clever. We find out that not every human, obviously, is worthy or capable of being the Doctor's companion, no matter how smart they may be. Poor Adam. He was a bit of a dick, though. How Russell skillfully lays seeds in story 6 that flow direct onto episodes 12 and 13. Plus, I have to mention a fantastic portrayal of the editor from Simon Pegg. Even though it took him a few takes to say the mighty Jagrafess of the holy Hadrojaxic Maxarodinfo. I think I got that right. Score out of 10, probably 8. Father's Day. Unfortunately, despite being an awesome episode, I think this is where I first started to go off Rose Tyler. First, she saves her father, while earlier versions of herself and the Doctor are there, thus causing said reapers. Then, after saying to the Doctor, "I'm not stupid," she goes and holds herself as a baby, after the Doctor told what would happen. However, the story still gets me watching it now in 2018. It's got an emotional pathos to it. The bit where the Doctor gets eaten, time and the planet are being destroyed, and it's up to an ordinary / extraordinary man, Pete Tyler, to save all the time and space by throwing himself under a car. Awesome story. 8 out of 10. The Empty Child / the Doctor Dances. From the first 5 minutes, you, or at least I, instantly feel that there's something special about Stephen Moffat, and John Barrowman for that matter. This truly spooky, clever story is firm proof for me that Moffat is a legend. However, as soon as Rose is presented with a younger, more handsome time traveler, she fawns all over him and pushes the Doctor to one side. Her saving grace in the story, however, was getting the Doctor to go back and save Captain Jack. I have to give the story a 9 out of 10. Boomtown. This story was called a cheap episode, but it certainly didn't show. The genius return of Margaret forces the Doctor to face an uncomfortable question: is he as bad as his enemies? Once again, however, I'm not drawn to the plight of Rose in this story. The way she treats Mickey, for me, verges on disgraceful. Having a go at him for seeing someone else while she's off traveling through time and space with 2 men. Then she runs off as things get exciting without even bothering to say to Mickey, "That's not thunder, come on, let's check it out." However, stating at the end that Mickey deserves better shows a true awareness of how she's treated him. I'll give the story 7 out of 10. Now we have the season finale, Bad Wolf / The Parting of the Ways. A quick reference to Series 5. For me, the Bad Wolf arc is one of the best story arcs, probably equal only to the Cracks in Time Series 5. A few highlights for me in this two-parter. From the Controller, when the Controller says, "My masters, they fear the Doctor," it gives me chills even now. The Dalek, when the Doctor says, "The Daleks call me the oncoming storm." The hologram of the Doctor as he's sending Rose home, right at the end where he turns and looks at her. That still gives me to produce a tear. Through to the death / Rose or Bad Wolf resurrection of Jack. Of course, at the time, first viewing it, not knowing that made Jack immortal. But the scene in the TARDIS between Rose and Jackie was an utterly brilliant performance from Billie Piper. Can't really fault her acting at all. As well as how she played the vortex possessed Rose / Bad Wolf. One minor dislike here, and yes, it's an anti-Rose Tyler thing. But the bit where she says to Mickey, "There's nothing for me here," meaning at home. Now, she might have moved on from her boyfriend, but her mother is also there. So her mother is nothing. But that aside, my final highlight of this episode probably has to be the regeneration. Introducing the concept of regeneration to Whovians as well as new fans was absolutely perfectly done. So even with the slight criticisms aside, I have to give this story a 10 out of 10. Well, that was series 1. Those who listened, I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for series 2, New Who review. Cheers.